9-night river cruise for the price of 7. When life moves fast, there's no time for headaches. Unleash the speed of liquid with Nurofen Advanced Liquid Capsules, getting you back to what really matters fast. Nurofen Advanced. Leave your pain to us.
At the heart of every Palm Lake resort is its country club. These award-winning world-class facilities boast an impressive range of sporting and social amenities. Our dedicated wellness precincts provide ample opportunities for you to focus on your health. We have our awe-inspiring resort pool perfectly positioned for relaxation. New homes now selling. This is your time at Palm Lake Resort.
Key. You had the key. You had the key. Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Get even more value and more choice with Domino's $7 everyday value range. Choose from 6 delicious value pizzas and 4 mouth-watering melts for just $7 each every day. Get more for less from Domino's.
The High Reach Cleaning Pole from Cut Above Tools, a lightweight sturdy cleaning pole with 6 different attachments. Used with or without water. Extends to 5 metres, weighs just 1.2 kilos. Select your pole, select your attachments. cutabovetools.com.au.
Northern New South Wales football premier competitions are back this weekend. Catch a match live and enjoy all the action. Details at northernnewsouthwalesfootball.com.au.
You never thought 5 counters was going to be an offer that you would hear on Tipping Point?
No one would be crazy enough to refuse this offer. Or would they? This program brought to you by Scenic, the most all-inclusive cruise on Europe's rivers.
What do we do here? We just go for it?
My arm, a little bit of eye contact.
Is he actually going to stop?
He was slowing down. See how it flows?
That was very close.
You should be on my right-hand side, like the local. This is the world of motorcycle. Welcome to the organized chaos.
Yeah, I think organised is a very generous term. We just crossed the road before and it was very, very scary.
People say, close your eyes, from the best of luck.
For locals like Queen, the energetic buzz and the craziness is all part of the city's charm. Activities, all on-board meals and premium drinks are included. For a limited time, save up to $4,300 per person in 2024 or 2025. Plus, Getaway viewers can also save an additional $1,000 per couple with an exclusive voucher. To request your voucher, visit scenic.com.au/getaway. Call 1300 790 372 or speak to your nearest travel advisor.
So what are your tips for riding a buffalo? What should I know?
Take your shoe up. Yeah, shoes
Okay.
off. Yes.
After the break, doing as the locals do in Hoyard.
Yeah. Yeah. Hold on, Jerry.
We're away.
Mà lên nhé, nhảy vô lên tung ta lên nhé. Dạ mà đây.
What? I'll tell you what, the suspension on this thing's not great.
TV's most spectacular adventure is back.
I tell you what, that's a testicle.
Oh. 10 breathtaking new locations.
What is the meaning of life?
Very simple. No hanky-panky. Stay in harmony.
Just a little bit of hanky-panky.
You guys.
Oh my God, it's huge! And the first ever
5 stars. 5 stars.
Perfect holiday.
Get ready to roam
Like you've never roamed before.
You know how hard it is to walk in a banana leaf?
all new travel guides coming soon to 9 and 9 now. Discover the wonders of the Mekong River with Scenic on the most all-inclusive ultra-luxury cruise. Enjoy up to 5 dining experiences, spacious suites and butler service. Be immersed in the culture, history and culinary delights of Southeast Asia. Enjoy enriching free choice excursions and exclusive events. Scenic, in a class of its own. Book now and receive a 9-night river cruise for the price of 7. At Spotlight's winter sale, 30% off all rugs, runners and mats. VIP save 30 to 50% off all cookware and 40% off all frames and photo albums. So you can roll it, make it and hang it for less. All backed by our bargain guarantee. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
nothing more cheese-delicious than Domino's new mouth-watering Philly cheesesteak pizza. With succulent sizzling steak, a creamy cheese base, and tastier, stretchier mozzarella. All for just $12. Get more from Domino's.
Do you know that feeling sluggish or weighed down could be signs that your digestive system isn't working at its best? Metamucil's daily 4-in-1 fibre helps trap and remove waste. This daily cleanser supports gut health, regularity, and traps cholesterol and sugars. Try Metamucil.
Harvey Norman, your destination for the Samsung Galaxy S24 series. Purchase the Samsung Galaxy S24 256GB for $0 up front when you connect to a new Optus $69 per month SIM-only plan for 24 months. That's right, say yes to Optus and purchase the Samsung Galaxy S24 256GB for $0 up front. Limited time only. Hurry, offer ends 22nd of May at Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer.
Northern New South Wales football premier competitions are back this weekend. Catch a match live and enjoy all the action. Details at northernnewsouthwalesfootball.com.au.
Take your little monsters to Hunter Valley Gardens Mega Creatures, a prehistoric world filled with dinos, bugs and beasts, with epic entertainment and the chance to see it all in the dark. It's monster fun for all the family. Hunter Valley Gardens Mega Creatures. Grab your tickets now at hvg.com.au.
After winding up our scenic adventure in the buzzing...
What's this guy doing?
Trusty lady.
One Gangnam Style. After the break, food, glorious food. One of the ultimate highlights of the trip to Hoi An.
We try what the local do.
Yeah.
Hold it up.
Hold it up.
Okay.
Yes, all right.
All right, go. Dig in.
Tonight in NBN News, the final step in Australia's gun reform. The federal government pledges $160 million to establish a national firearms registry. Calls grow for more action on domestic violence against women. Thousands march through Newcastle and Sydney. A violent twister in the US state of Nebraska sends motorists scrambling. Plus, the end of an era for Taronga Zoo's Asian elephants packing their trunks for a new adventure. Those stories and more at 6.
You have got to build a classic TV show.
Can you guess the show?
It's the opening of Friends. Is it?
Lego Masters, Sunday at 7.
Discover the wonders of the Mekong River with Scenic on the most all-inclusive, ultra-luxury cruise. Enjoy up to 5 dining experiences, spacious suites, and butler service. Be immersed in the culture, history, and culinary delights of Southeast Asia. Enjoy enriching free choice excursions and exclusive events. Scenic, in a class of its own. Book now and receive a 9-night river cruise for the price of 7. Creamy Makona cafe-style coffee sachets with velvety froth. For lovers of coffee.
The Nick Scarley April clearance ends Sunday with up to 40% off selected designer furniture. Save up to 40% at the April clearance. Ends Sunday at Nick Scarley.
Take your little monsters to Hunter Valley Gardens Mega Creatures, a prehistoric world filled with dinos, bugs and beasts, with epic entertainment and the chance to see it all in the dark. It's monster fun for all the family. Hunter Valley Gardens Mega Creatures. Grab your tickets now at hvg.com.au.
Win the ultimate games experience in Paris 2024 at Harvey Norman. 3 major prizes to be won with a total prize pool of over $100,000. You could win a trip for 2 to the Paris 2024 Olympic or Paralympic Games, or a Harvey Norman gift card valued at $10,000. Simply purchase any product over $200 and enter the draw for your chance to win the ultimate games experience in Paris 2024. Now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
If you had just 15 days to drag $1 million to the top, what would you do?
Oh my God.
You will be stealing someone's cash.
To reach
Vote him off the mountain.
the summit.
We can be heroes.
So be careful who you trust.
This program brought to you by Scenic, the most all-inclusive cruise on Europe's rivers.
Scenic free choice activities, all on-board meals and premium drinks are included. For a limited time, save up to $4,300 per person in 2024 or 2025. Plus, Getaway viewers can also save an additional $1,000 per couple with an exclusive voucher. To request your voucher, visit scenic.com.au/getaway. Call 1300 790 372 or speak to your nearest travel advisor.
So what do you think? It's a great place to buy a suit. Not the best climate to wear one, but I couldn't resist. It's fitting we finish in beautiful Hoi An. The vibrant colours, the energy, the rich history and the fascinating culture is like a snapshot of this incredible trip. It's a holiday that's sure to leave an impression on both your heart and your mind for many years to come. Thank you for sharing the journey.
Next week, Scenic Eclipse 2 cruises into Sydney Harbour. Plus, everybody was kung fu fighting in Hong Kong.
And I'm gone. And I'm done.
See you then. Good night.
Tonight, gun reform. The federal government commits millions to a national register. Demanding change, the nation's anti-violence protest continues following a powerful launch in Newcastle. Doctor's blessing, King Charles receives the all-clear to return to royal duties. The end of an era, Taronga Zoo says goodbye to its elephants. And the Jets out to spoil the Mariners party in tonight's F3 derby.
This is NBN News with Jane Goldsmith.
Good evening. The federal government has announced the most significant step in Australia's gun safety regime since the first efforts to tighten laws after the Port Arthur massacre. On the eve of the 28th anniversary of the mass shooting, the Commonwealth is committing $160 million in funding to establish a national firearms register.
Pulling the trigger on the final piece of the puzzle.
The National Firearms Register is the most significant advance in Australia's gun safety regime since the 1996 National Firearms Agreement.
Almost 3 decades on since it was recommended in the wake of the 1996 Port Arthur massacre, the federal government announcing $160 million for a national database that will track guns, parts and owners, giving police across the country access to crucial information in real time.
When officers are standing at the top of the driveway wondering what they're going to face when they go down that driveway to a house that they don't know, they're going to be much better informed in future.
Which is a significant advancement in terms of our ability to ensure police and public safety.
The funding announced today just hours away from Williambilla, Queensland, where in late 2022, 2 officers and a neighbour were gunned down in a religiously motivated terrorist attack.
No Queenslander's heart will ever heal when it comes to Williambilla, just like with Port Arthur. Our hearts will be forever broken.
One of the killers had a suspended New South Wales firearms licence but was still able to purchase ammunition in Queensland, the shooting prompting a push for unity on gun control between states and territories. National Cabinet agreed to implement this register last year, but it could still be another 4 years before the database is actually in operation.
You've got some states that are moving from paper-based systems to digital systems. This will be a digital system.
We would all hope that it could be done
quicker than in 4 years, but we also have to make sure we get it right.
Claudia Radoljak, NBN News. Deputy Prime Minister Richard Marles has met with his Polish counterpart in Warsaw to negotiate an agreement aimed at strengthening military ties.
There is an enormous opportunity for our two countries to work together. We look forward to working with you to look at ways in which we can reach agreements in respect of defence cooperation.
Both countries have also pledged to continue their joint support of Ukraine. 8,000 people have marched through Sydney's streets in a rising wave of anger and frustration over the number of deaths allegedly linked to domestic violence. And the momentum is poised to carry throughout the country tomorrow, with the Prime Minister to attend a rally in Canberra.
Enough is enough.
We won't take it anymore!
Sydney taking a stand to stamp out violence against women.
Men's violence has to go!
A groundswell in the face of an alarming fact. One woman has been killed almost every 4 days so far this year.
They can't be here to represent themselves, so I'm going to be here to represent them.
Protesters today determined their names won't be forgotten.
Hannah Maguire, Ashley Good, Dawn Singleton,
and Jade Young, one of 5 women killed in Bondi Junction, Westfield. Her mother, Elizabeth, pushing for change.
Jade was killed 2 weeks ago, murdered in Bondi Junction, almost exactly now, in front of her 9-year-old daughter.
Molly Ticehurst.
And 28-year-old mother Molly Ticehurst allegedly murdered this week by her former partner.
Extremely violent, very sad. She wasn't doing anything wrong, and she was killed nevertheless.
Among the 8,000 people marching today, mums and dads fighting for a better future.
I don't want this for my daughter, and I don't think anybody should want this for their daughters.
I've got a son and a daughter, and it's more important for me to teach him how to treat women.
Determined despite anger, fear and grief.
We don't even get to walk out of our house and feel safe at the moment.
Safety, something survivor Tracy Preston doesn't take for granted.
I've moved up here to try and start again. Like, I have nothing. I came up here with a backpack and my life, basically, and that's it.
No words today from Premier Chris Minns. Instead, he listened under pressure to announce a New South Wales Royal Commission into domestic violence. But first, he'll hold a roundtable with campaigners, including Rosie Batty.
We have in this country an epidemic of male violence, and we all need to step up.
Thousands more will march in rallies across the country tomorrow, among them in Canberra, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. But campaigners here want him to turn talk into action.
We need Anthony Albanese to come out and say it's a national emergency.
Campaigners also want tighter controls for AVOs and bail restrictions. And while the conversation extends all the way to Parliament House, many believe it begins in the homes of everyday Australians. Annalise Bolt, NBN News.
And almost 1,000 Novocastrians have joined the nationwide call for action. The first of 17 rallies to be held across the country. Locals marched to the city's foreshore, calling on the government to stand up.
Hitting the streets,
We say no to domestic violence!
almost 1,000 people make their voices heard.
Yes means yes and no means no!
Marching from the city's museum to Nobby's foreshore, these protesters call on the Prime Minister to take immediate action on violence against women.
I think it shows how badly this issue needs to be spoken about and things done. And I'm really great that Newcastle's the first one out of all.
It's a cause that hits home for Reese Hamilton. A survivor of violence, she says it's time women felt safe to go about their lives in peace.
I was a victim at a public venue. I was flagged at a venue, and then
a victim of assault afterwards, and since then I've been with the organisation standing up for this.
Just 4 months into the year, and the statistics are grim. According to the Red Heart campaign, 33 Australian women have been killed so far in 2024. Of those, 15 in an act of domestic violence. In 9 of those cases, the perpetrator was known to the victim, while a further 8 have been killed by strangers. Among last night's rally, the Minister for Women calling on her own party to stand up.
Our governments certainly need to listen, and we all need to walk together and stand together to say that it's not acceptable.
By her side, Police Minister Yasmin Catley.
To stop women dying at the hands of their partners or somebody else, and to once and all say enough is enough.
In a rally that attracted the young and old, even furry friends put their paws to the pavement. Tonight's turnout is one of the biggest the organisation has seen, and there'll be more this weekend with rallies planned right across the country. The nationwide action continues tomorrow. Among them, a rally at Coffs Harbour, with hundreds expected at the jetty foreshore from 11 a.m. Bianca Wert, NBN News.
RFS investigators have spent the day in Doyleson looking into a bushfire which broke out on Waihi Road and burned through more than 80 hectares yesterday.
We do know there were some people seen in the area at the time. We do also know there were some people camping in the area. So obviously we're looking at all possible scenarios there.
They'll continue to patrol the area. It's time for the red and yellow flags to come down on our beaches. Surf lifesavers are reflecting on one of their busiest seasons on record, and they're warning our remaining beachgoers to stay vigilant this winter.
It's been a busy season for surf lifesavers on the Hunter Coast, unpatrolled swimmers and daring rock fishermen, leading to a spike in call-outs.
Unfortunately, the drownings are certainly up this year across the region. And you know, there's probably a range of reasons for that.
New figures revealing a total of 368 rescues were conducted in the Hunter this season, 8 of them resulting in death. Further north in Port Stephens, lifesavers performed 94 rescues, and there were 7 total drownings. Duty officer Glenn Dunkley says tourists who aren't familiar with the area are of greatest concern.
We know that a lot of the people come out of Western Sydney to visit, particularly Port Stephens and probably Redhead and Caves Beach.
Glenn says improving public communication is a priority, especially at the popular Barooby Beach.
We've given them information in multiple languages. We've had lifesavers, duty officers, RWC operators and drone pilots actually walking the beach and talking to them.
Marine Rescue has also had their hands full, Lake Macquarie remaining the busiest unit in the state, despite calls for more boaties to log their trips.
Some boaties feel that because it's the lake that they don't need to log on just to be in the lake, but we would say by all means log on.
As the official boating season ends this week, there's a reminder to stay vigilant.
If you've come off in the water during the colder weather, hypothermia can become an issue.
Angie Davies, NBN News.
A reminder to motorists, double demerits are in place until midnight tomorrow. Police are advising drivers to allow plenty of extra travel time with heavy traffic expected on major roads, especially those leading into Sydney. And looking at the weather for the Hunter, a sensational Saturday with plenty of sunshine. 14 to 21 the range at Newcastle, dipping to just 4 degrees at Mary Wharf, 5 to 23 at Scone. You're watching NBN News. Still ahead, doctor's blessing. King Charles given the all clear to return to royal duties. The terrifying moment an armed man storms a Victorian pharmacy. Donald Trump rounds out an explosive week on trial with a message to his wife. And a father and son winched to safety after their boat sinks off the south coast.
We love our Aussie summers. Nothing beats a day on the water. And with the Isuzu D-Max, you can find your very own stretch. Be it a sunrise surf or a day out with the family. Summer goes further with the Isuzu D-Max. And with stock available, you can have your own before you know it. Live your own way in the Isuzu D-Max.
Sweet shoes. Want 'em? Try the Google app for iPhone. Tap this, snap that. What a vibe. Can't name that song? Tap this, hum that. Right. Wait. Tap this, hover over that, and now you know. Find it, hum it, translate it. More ways to search. Download the Google app for iPhone.
I found love where it never belonged.
The Sleeping Duck Indestruct bed sets a new standard in back support. Engineered with over 50 kilos of steel, it prevents back-damaging mattress sag with a steel beam supporting the spine of each individual sleeper.
Just because it's built for amazing support doesn't mean it needs to compromise its aesthetic. The dedication towards our artisan finishes means you'll never have to choose between the look and support ever again.
The SD Indestruct bed, an indestructible bed for an indestructible spine.
So I heard you're back in town and haven't changed a bit, man. Time you get what you deserve.
Hi teams, getting ready to battle.
So you wanna fight me? Are you big enough?
Skill, power and passion. This is intense as footy gets. We are ready for Origin footy.
For
the first time in women's Origin history, a blockbuster three-match series.
Oh, baby, don't tell me I didn't warn you.
It's a huge game for those women out on the big stage.
Ampol Women's State of Origin, exclusive, live and free. Only on 9 and 9 now.
Positive news from the palace tonight. King Charles will return to public duties this week, 2 months after he disclosed he was undergoing cancer treatment. The announcement was accompanied by a new portrait photo of the 75-year-old smiling with wife Camilla.
A picture of happiness. A new official photo of the King and Queen in Buckingham Palace Gardens to coincide with news Charles is returning to his public role. It was last seen out on Easter Sunday, greeting a select group of well-wishers inside the grounds at Windsor Castle. It was a sign doctors were happy with him being in contact with those outside his immediate circle.
It's wonderful to see you looking so well.
He withdrew from major events in February after revealing he was undergoing treatment for an undisclosed cancer. The shock news coming as his daughter-in-law, Kate, revealed her own health battles. Now the palace says the King will shortly return to public-facing duties after a period of treatment and recuperation. Their Majesties remain deeply grateful for the many kindnesses and good wishes they've received from around the world throughout the joys and challenges of the last year. Charles' first major appearance in months will be early next week, visiting a cancer support centre with a new personal perspective. The King and Queen will also host the Emperor and Empress of Japan for a state visit in June. While this is undoubtedly good news for King Charles, he hasn't been given the all clear. As he steps back into public life, he'll still be getting private treatment for his cancer. Doctors say they're very pleased with his progress so far, but they can't say how long that treatment will need to continue. The palace says Charles is greatly encouraged to be resuming some public-facing duties and very grateful to his medical team. All future plans are subject to doctors' advice, so no word yet on whether the King will go ahead with an anticipated visit to Australia later in the year. It's been quite a journey for the monarch, less than a year since his coronation.
Brett McLeod, NBN News.
terrifying encounter for customers at a pharmacy in Torquay, southwest of Melbourne this morning. This CCTV showing a man armed with a knife entering the premises and assaulting another man who had a child. Police say moments before he stabbed a man in another nearby business. He ran from the scene and was arrested a short time later before being taken to hospital for assessment. The Police Tactical Operations Unit was part of a dramatic arrest of a 45-year-old man at Arimba on the Central Coast today. He's alleged to have committed an armed robbery at a Wyong business and stole cash, as well as the theft of a vehicle with a woman inside. She was later released. An Australian on holiday in Bali has been arrested at the airport and prevented from leaving Indonesia 1 week on from an alleged assault. He's accused of hitting a local driver while on a night out with friends.
A scuffle on the streets of Kuta that could see a 24-year-old Australian locked up in Indonesia for almost 3 years. Mildura man Micah Falauhala was on a night out with his friends in Bali when police allege he blocked a local driver's car and turned violent.
A couple of us guys went out to the karaoke bar, had a few drinks with a few people. It was a great night. We walked out the front and had a bit of miscommunication with a couple of other guys.
This footage circulated on Indonesian social media. His alleged victim reported his injuries to police, and 1 week on, the tourists were stopped at the airport and taken into custody.
Yesterday we were meant to go home, but we missed the flight. We got escorted by police and cooperating with them, and we stayed the night. And now we're trying to resolve the matter.
He could be sentenced to 2 years and 8 months behind bars if he's found guilty.
So what are you hoping for your friend? Hopefully we're able to apologise to the parties that were involved and my friend's able to be released, but we're just waiting to see what the result is.
There's been a major security breach at Sydney International Airport after a man was found on the tarmac. He then got into the cargo hold of a Sri Lankan Airlines plane. Baggage handlers trying to calm the clearly confused man until AFP officers arrived. The 30-year-old was arrested and taken to hospital. The former president accused of paying off a porn star and the publisher accused of covering it up. The first week of testimony in Donald Trump's historic criminal trial has concluded with a friendly face in the witness box.
A quick wave and a fist pump. Then Donald Trump prepared to round out his week of court with a message to his wife.
I want to start by wishing my wife, Melania, a very happy birthday. It's nice to be with her, but I'm at a courthouse for a rig trial.
A trial where not a single member of Trump's family has been present to show support, but there was one familiar face today who had the former president cracking a smile.
Rona, let me have the calls, please.
For 34 years, Rona Graff was Donald Trump's assistant. She told the jury Trump Tower was a very stimulating, exciting, fascinating place to be, gushing over her old boss's rock star status from The Apprentice, a show which she herself appeared in.
Hi, this is Ronan, Trump's office. He asked me to call you and tell you to meet him tomorrow morning at the New York Stock Exchange.
Ms. Graff told the court she maintained Donald Trump's contact list and had input details for adult film star Stormy Daniels and Playboy model Karen McDougal into the system. Two women who both claim they had affairs with Donald Trump, both paid in return for their silence.
And this is the next person to reveal a little bit more information to get them where they're going.
A small detail after a final revelation from veteran publisher David Pecker. Did you suppress stories to help a presidential candidate? Yes. And with that, the once boss of the National Enquirer concluded his evidence, leaving behind damning allegations not only of Trump, but also his Australian deputy Dylan Howard, who has been named by prosecutors as a co-conspirator. He's been granted immunity. So that's week one of Donald Trump's historic criminal trial, now complete. 3 witnesses down, but the juggle between the campaign and the courtroom is just ramping up.
I've invited Biden to debate. He can do it anytime he wants, including tonight. I'm ready. Here we are. I invited him to the courthouse.
An invitation to the courthouse as Donald Trump attempts to get back to the White House. In New York, Lauren Tomazi, NBN News.
A Virgin flight bound for Darwin was forced to turn around and make an emergency landing back at Brisbane Airport last night. The plane managing to land safely with no one injured. Virgin explaining there was a cabin pressure issue requiring the pilot to fly at a lower altitude. A review is now underway. A dramatic rescue off Sydney's south coast has been caught on camera. 3 people, including a teenager, were plucked from the water in the middle of a shark fishing competition.
2 men and a boy cling to what remains of their boat as it quickly plunges into the ocean. The men push the teenage boy forward to get taken out of the water first, lifting him to safety before returning for the adults. A dip below the surface shows just how far down their vessel, the Huntress, has gone. The teenage boy's father then plucked from the ocean, greeted by his son in the cabin of the helicopter, smiling and okay. The boat ran into trouble early this afternoon, 20 nautical miles off the coast of Coaldale, just south of the Royal National Park. The men making a 000 call to police, who then mobilised the Westpac Lifesaver Rescue helicopter. What the crew on board didn't know was the water was more dangerous than it looked.
They were out there for a shark fishing contest, which was sort of kind of nice to know after the fact before we winched our rescue crewmen in.
The man and his son flown back to the rescue base at La Perouse to be checked over by paramedics. The third man on board managed to get himself out of trouble. By the time the first 2 people had been winched onto the helicopter, he had swam to a nearby boat, which brought him safely to shore. The group praised by their rescuers for being well prepared.
They did everything right. They stayed with the partially submerged boat and they had their life jackets on.
In La Perouse, Helene Lambetsos, NBN News.
Coming up next, the Sydney Hospital making care more accessible for rural burns patients. Drivers dodge a flipped truck as a tornado rages across a freeway in Nebraska. And packing their trunks after more than a century, Taronga Zoo says goodbye to its elephants.
This weekend only at Amart, save 20 to 50% on sofas, lounges and recliners, so you can transform your home for less. T's and C's apply. Offer ends Sunday, so hurry into Amart.
Terry White Chemmart has real deals on all your favourite brands like Difflam Soothing Drops, Stratoderm Scar Therapy Gel, and Terry White Chemmart Ibuprofen 200mg. Get real deals every day at Terry White Chemmart, dedicated to care.
These new pretty utes can't even go off-road.
Finally, a ute that answers the critics. Amarok, born from tough love.
Make the most of our lowest prices this autumn.
Ryobi blower kit $199, Trojan Prona $19.99.
Where you find a competitor's lower price on the same stocked item, we'll beat it by 10%. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
At Qantas, we're proud to support regional communities. This year, we're offering $2 million in support with Qantas regional grants, so organisations can provide a direct benefit to your community. Apply now at qantas.com/regional grants.
Oh, hello, Glow. Rimmel's new Better Than Filters with skin priming biopeptides and glow boosting vitamin C. Hello, best skin ever in just 4 weeks. From Rimmel, live the London look.
With Nutrilife Gut Relief, life feels easier. Expertly formulated to reduce bloating and soothe gut irritation, making it Australia's #1 selling gut health powder. Nutrilife, fit for life.
Hey, Dave.
Oh, hey.
Are you and Jax doing the walk this weekend?
Sounds great, but my legs are aching. It even kept me up last night.
Well, remember my leg pain? I use Revitive.
The drug-free solution. Revitive Circulation Booster relieves leg aches and pains, swelling and cramps.
And it's endorsed by the Australian Physiotherapy Association.
Coming through.
Oh, someone got Revitive. Keep active with Revitive.
Mother's Day sale on now.
The artisan loaf. Supermarket speak for frozen bread. Now that's not cool. So I guess you can choose fakery or an actual bakery.
At Officeworks, we won't be beaten on price. Get a Lenovo Slim 3i laptop for $1,097 or Sony XM5 over-ear headphones for $549. Make bigger things happen at Officeworks.
The Plush Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off a huge selection of leather and fabric sofas, recliners and armchairs. Save up to 50% off at the Plush Autumn Sale. Ends Sunday.
Self-esteem think Plush.
You're watching NBN News. These are our top local stories. Novocastrians turned out in droves last night in the first of 17 rallies to be held across the country, calling for an end to domestic violence and for the government to take action. Volunteer surf lifesavers will wrap up their patrol season along the New South Wales coastline tomorrow, urging swimmers to continue to be vigilant into the cooler months. Ballina Shire Council has temporarily halted a $1 million overhaul of the popular Sharps Beach, looking to revise the draft master plan after community feedback. The family of 5-year-old Jack Schofield is fighting to raise funds for a US treatment that could help him beat cancer, with his Tamworth grandparents leading the charge. And the Coffs Harbour Agricultural Show is celebrating a major moment in history, marking its 110 years this weekend. Suffering a serious burn can be life-changing, and now a busy Sydney hospital has found a way to make care more accessible for rural patients. Concord Hospital, which treats people right across New South Wales, is operating a state-first virtual service, providing help at the click of a button.
Both his feet heavily bandaged, George Greenaway travelled for more than 6 hours to get specialist care after suffering serious burns at a rural property in the state's west.
It was just all blistered up. When they took me boots and that off.
Staff at Canamble Hospital accessing a virtual system to get expert advice fast.
It meant that George could have 3 dressing changes locally, staying at home with his family.
This is 19-year-old Thomas Shields at Griffith Hospital after an accident on the Easter long weekend.
The fire was getting low, so I went to put another log on it, and as I was doing so, I accidentally stepped into a pile of coals.
Clinical nurse Miranda Pye is able to give burns advice almost 600 kilometres away.
So I can see a lot of good healing.
The virtual consultation with camera technology to carefully inspect the wounds.
It was coined when the Bali incident happened. There is this golden hour, and in burns it's very, very specific. We always try and get to the patient within 6 hours.
There are hopes to expand this service even further. Last financial year, 120 patients were able to use the specialist teleburn service. Only 10 were required to come here to Concord Hospital for further treatment.
Well, we're going to make sure that this is an important part of the way we deliver burn care.
Concord Burns Unit treats residents across 2/3 of New South Wales. There are more than 600 admissions a year.
It's a really great way that we can ensure people are treated at the right place and the right time.
Vicky Jardim, NBN News.
Overseas now, and the Palestinian territory of Gaza has been so damaged by Israeli airstrikes and bombs that it could take more than a decade to clear away. According to a top UN demining official, there's an average of 300 kilograms of rubble per square metre of land in the Gaza Strip, and that much of it contains unexploded bombs. More than 20 million Americans were under extreme weather warnings today, with at least 60 tornadoes touching down in the Midwest. Hundreds of homes were damaged, dozens destroyed, and drivers were sent scrambling.
A team of storm chasers barrel towards an advancing tornado as it rips across a major freeway.
These are live pictures coming in from exclusive Fox
Look at it crossing the interstate right now.
This is a tornado crossing Interstate 80 in Nebraska. Wow.
Its sheer force flipped a semi-trailer, the driver escaping uninjured.
He's okay, he's okay.
Debris swirling as this slow-moving beast lingered over Lincoln, Nebraska, population just shy of 300,000. Satellite imagery tracking the violent supercell.
The whole thing is turning And look at the base of the cloud there. My goodness.
which brought with it lightning and baseball-sized hail, stopping Nebraskans in their tracks.
They need a new roof. Anybody got tarps?
Sending this train off the rails and another in its direct path.
Right over it.
Somehow, the conductor and his crew escaped unharmed. So did this storm chaser, narrowly avoiding a semi-trailer. The tornado outbreak carved a path along the outskirts of the capital, Omaha.
All I seen was stuff just flying everywhere.
Bringing down power lines as residents turned to prayer.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen.
In a blink, it was gone, and so were entire neighbourhoods, block after block of splintered homes.
It just took everything in about 5-10 minutes and it's gone.
The supercell hit Iowa next.
Jordan, let's go, man, please!
Dancing across roads in rural Shelby.
Look at these vortices.
I've never seen this before.
And sideswiping the town of Minden. Tonight, watches and warnings for outbreaks across 6 states, from Michigan to Texas, with more forecast tomorrow.
Good, Matt!
In the United States, Alison Petrowski, NBN News.
2 years after she planted a bomb that killed 6 people and wounded around 100 others, a Syrian woman has been sentenced to life behind bars. Alam al-Bashir placed the explosive in a busy shopping district in Istanbul in November 2022. Today, the court handed her 7 life sentences. A change of pace now, and Melbourne's Rod Laver Arena has been transformed into a high-tech hub for the 3-day DreamHack gaming convention. From cosplay to fierce competition, fans say it's a space where everyone feels safe to be themselves.
Here, screens reign supreme and superheroes wander in 3D. Welcome to DreamHack, or Disneyland for the digital world. Taking over Melbourne for 3 full days, 30,000 gamers, streamers and superfans are soaking it all in.
We're from a video game called Rainbow Six Siege, which is a 5v5 shooter type game.
I did all the sewing and he did all the foam, and then we worked together on the painting and the weathering. Yeah, just a team effort.
I love being at events here because anyone can dress up who they want to be, from any TV show, comic book, or just any type of character.
And apparently that even includes news reporters.
Am I dressed as you or are you dressed as me?
You're dressed as me.
Oh.
I'm the original.
But beyond the get-ups, the competition gets serious, with an entire arena dedicated to esports, where teams from around the world fight for their share of a $150,000 prize pool.
Not doing school, no side jobs. This is my full-time job, and we're traveling the world and doing this as a job is awesome.
There's also new tech on display and professionals on panels. These 4 women are flying the flag to get more to follow in their footsteps.
I think for the longest time, gaming has been a bit of a boys' club, if you will, and so I think it's really important we start to have these conversations.
But beyond the controls, there's also spots where the virtual becomes reality. They call this LARP, live action roleplay, and there's a medieval town set up on the forecourt of Rod Laver.
A lot of people here probably started playing video games or doing Dungeons and Dragons, and they just found that they really wanted to take it to the next level. It's just really enjoyable to actually be able to kind of live out your fantasy.
For many, that means fancy and futuristic, but sometimes you just can't beat some old school fun.
Just takes you back to an era where everything was simple.
Japan has become so overcrowded with tourists, authorities will soon erect a barrier at one of the country's most popular photo spots. A 2.5-metre high net will soon be placed at this convenience store to obscure a view of Mount Fuji. It's hoped that will put people off with the hordes of people who are causing traffic issues and littering. From the birthplace of the Olympics to the home of the 2024 Games, Greece has handed over the Olympic flame to a delegation from the Paris Organising Committee at a ceremony in Athens. The Olympic torch will soon be carried through France and its territories before the opening ceremony in July. They've called Sydney home for more than a century and have one of the best harbour views our city has to offer. But tonight, Taronga Zoo's elephants are getting ready to leave city life behind in search of a more rural setting.
Thousands of kilos of Sydney history packing up their trunks and heading west, far west.
To Monarto Safari Park in South Australia. Largest social group that'll have really good social dynamics.
31-year-old Pak Boon, meaning morning glory in Thai, and 25-year-old Tang Mo, or watermelon, arrived in Sydney in 2006. But Taronga's love affair with elephants began much earlier, more than 100 years ago, when Jessie moved from a zoo in Moore Park to Mosman. And how else do you move 4 tons of elephants? Well, a ferry across the harbour. Back then, you could ride the Asian elephants at Taronga Zoo, a practice scrapped long ago in favour of a more relaxing, nurturing life for the enclosure's current occupants, while their admirers watch from the sidelines.
They're big.
And they've got trunks?
They've got trunks.
Is this your first time seeing them?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you reckon?
They're really, really big.
Taronga Zoo's been home to Asian elephants since 1916. Pak Boon and Tang Mo, the latest to delight zoogoers. But they'll be handing over this enclosure to new, equally hefty custodians, a one-horned rhino named Hari and a herd of water buffalo. But Pak Boon and Tang Mo won't be returning their keys for at least another year, giving Sydney a chance to say goodbye. Are you girls excited for your new home? Helene Lambert-Sauce, NBN News.
Well, it'd be sad to see them go. It's time for sport now with Jack Howard, and Manly's win over Parramatta has proven quite costly, Jack.
Jane, it could leave the club without 2 of its biggest names. After the break, Daly Cherry-Evans and Hamoli Olukwatu rocked by surprise charges. Also ahead, the latest on Brisbane's clash with the Tigers and the hot favourite to become Australia's next Olympic flag bearer.
To shave or not to shave? Shave, edge, trim, edge, shave, trim. To shave or not to shave? That. One Blade 360, trim, edge and shave.
I found love.
Win the ultimate games experience in Paris 2024 at Harvey Norman. 3 major prizes to be won with a total prize pool of over $100,000. You could win a trip for 2 to the Paris 2024 Olympic or Paralympic Games, or a Harvey Norman gift card valued at $10,000. Simply purchase any product over $200 and enter the draw for your chance to win the ultimate games experience in Paris 2024. Now at Harvey Norman.
Crafted just for you, the Saxon Dining Collection is Australian-made and exclusive to Domain. Customise the shape, size and timber stain to elevate your home. Perfect for small spaces, the Saxon offers subtle sophistication, functional for family life. Come together and make memories in the heart of your home. The Saxon adapts with you, simple and elegant. 3 looks, 1 collection. Domain, your home of customisation.
You have got to build a classic TV show. Second, to identify the TV show.
I'm not very good at names of TV shows.
Too late now, we're doing it anyway.
It's showtime.
Oh my gosh, it's not like Grease Lightning. Is that the opening of Friends? Is it?
In a super-sized week.
We're down here. Yeah. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Who will make the semi-finals?
I give you...
Are you okay, Hamish?
Everything's good.
Lego Masters, Sunday at 7 on 9. Try Hungry Jack's new Bourbon Street Whopper with crispy onion rings and bourbon barbecue sauce. Or fall in love with Bourbon Street Jack's Fried Chicken. New Bourbon Street Jack's Fried Chicken and Whopper. The burgers are better at Hungry Jack's.
Up to 40% at the April clearance in Sunday at Nick's Carly.
The Sea Eagles have been rocked by surprise charges to two of their biggest stars. Tonight, the club is weighing up whether to fight Daly Cherry Evans and Homoli Olukwatu's bands for a dangerous tackle in Manly's 32-18 win over arch rivals Parramatta.
It's the awkward tackle that's set to sideline two of Manly's most important players.
Oh, another shocking-looking tackle.
He did land in an unfortunate position, but he came back on and played the rest of the game, so I thought 10 minutes was sufficient.
Post-match, skipper Daly Cherry Evans tried to take some heat off Homoli Olukwatu.
I definitely had a role in the tackle, so it sort of overcompensated what was happening in the tackle.
Both are facing 2 to 3 week bans. Parramatta's Mike Acevo escaping suspension for his elbow on Ruben Garrick, but the brain snap was still costly. The winger sin-binned when the Eels trailed 2018 with 10 minutes remaining.
It's dumb, isn't it? No, just stupid. We're right in the game. Just silly things at the moment that are really hurting us.
Leading by 8 at half-time, Brad Arthur's men again couldn't close out a match. How do you overcome these second-half fade-outs?
I don't have an answer for you right now, unfortunately. We've got a bye now to go away and work on things, and we'll come back out of that with a bit of energy and a bit of something to prove, I think.
Jason Saab had a special delivery for Nathan Brown at full-time, the former Eel celebrating with his 7-week-old son, Luca. How long since you've enjoyed your footy this much?
Footy last few years, I don't really enjoy it at all, to be honest. A lot of background stuff that, kind of got to me. Got married in the off-season, had a son, so I think that just gave me a new life.
Fast becoming a fan favourite at Fortress Brookvale, the Sea Eagles will soon start talks to re-sign the off-contract enforcer. Zach Bailey, NBN News.
The West Tigers have plenty of work to do if they're to avoid a fourth straight defeat. After losing to the Dolphins, Dragons and Panthers, the Tigers trailed the Broncos 16-0 at half-time at Campbelltown. Skipper Appy Coruscant controversially denied a try midway through the first half. The Waratahs' road to the finals has become even harder, the home side going down 38-22 after leading the Chiefs 12-0. The Tars have won just 2 of their 9 matches this season.
Yeah, it is a tough road, but it's still not done. Like, I'll talk to the boys in a minute around, we just got to go back and start again, work harder, and see what happens in that last 4 weeks. If we can jag enough wins to get into the playoffs.
Up next for Coleman's men, the Hurricanes on Friday night. Carrying the flag into an Olympic opening ceremony is one of Australian sport's highest honours. Jess Fox is the hot favourite for the role in Paris, but first is busy preparing for a schedule pre-games that'll have her primed for a shot at back-to-back gold.
Jess Fox, happy at home but ready to hit the path to Paris. The Olympic champion will jet off to Europe in a fortnight for an intense month of lead-up races and a training camp to fine-tune her gold medal defence.
I love that time because I feel like I get into this real focused part of me that is easy to tap into here, but there are so many other distractions. You're at home, you're in your routine. Once you get over there, it's like game time.
As a 4-time Olympian and 4-time medalist, Fox heads an impressive list of candidates to be Australia's flag bearer at the opening ceremony, a floating spectacle on the River Seine through the heart of Paris.
It's a huge honour to have my name mentioned in that kind of role, of course, and I think there are so many athletes in our team who are great leaders, great performers, and who have represented our country with an amazing pride.
From a Games veteran to Olympic rookies, this is a new experience for fellow paddlers Tim Anderson and Tristan Carter. To chase their dream, both left family and friends in Victoria to live and train in Western Sydney.
It was really fun, but really challenging, as you could imagine an 18-year-old moving into a completely new city with no real support network.
I really tried to make sure that every morning I woke up, I knew
that I could be standing here being this person, because, you know, if there was ever a morning that I woke up and I didn't think that, it was like, why? What's the point then?
It's clear to see why they've dedicated their life to the sport they love.
It's like artwork on water. You're paddling well, you're on a good race. It's like the water's your canvas and you're just painting yourself. Like, it's just so smooth, it's elegant, it's like ballet.
Hopefully a victory dance is awaiting in France. Luke Dufficy, NBN News.
After the break, the latest from Newcastle as the Jets attempt to rain on the Mariners parade, and Cameron Smith puts on a show for fans in Adelaide.
Double demerits come into force this holiday period. And police can enforce the road rules anywhere, anytime. So if you speed, don't wear a seatbelt or motorcycle helmet, or hold your phone while driving, you can stop it or cop it.
Hear that? That's the sound of you winning. By bringing home the bacon and the frozen dinosaur nuggets that are the only thing they seem to eat. All collected by a dedicated dasher while you did school pickup. Grasp your trophy, my friend, because you have smashed it. Smash it. DoorDash it.
You're seeing a stack of warm tortillas. You're seeing shredded coleslaw, spicy mayonnaise, and fresh lime. You're seeing Tuesday night tacos, and you're thinking beef.
Oh, so gentle. Coach. One Blade 360. Trim, edge and shave effortlessly.
Radius rising for a golden spectacular. They are an unstoppable force. A famous city transformed into a stage. Have you ever seen anything like it? Volleyball under the Eiffel Tower. Riding for gold at the Palace of Versailles. Knockouts on Roland Garros. Australia, let's conquer the world and light up the magnificent streets of Paris. The Olympic Games, Paris 2024, live and free.
Ninth broadcast of the Olympic Games, proudly brought to you by Toyota.
Experience the smooth barista-crafted taste of free coffee for a year. Free. Buy any McCafe coffee on the My Macca's app for a chance to win.
Free. France.
This report brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop in store or at agn.com.au.
Cameron Smith is back in contention at the Live Golf event in Adelaide. The Australian fired a bogey-free 7-under par second round and heads into the final day tied for fifth. Smith is 3 shots behind leader Brendan Still at 14 under. The Mariners struck first in tonight's F3 derby. Playing in their final game of the season, Newcastle's plan to upstage their rivals was undone in the 21st minute.
Slightly errant touch, gets a second goal, and Alan Cole scores! It's his first goal since New Year's Eve!
The score's currently 1-1 midway through the second half. Meanwhile, the Mariners' fairy tale return to the women's competition has ended in the semi-finals. Playing Sydney FC in the second leg, the Sky Blues quickly built on their 1-goal advantage. The Central Coast hit back just before the break.
First time hit around the corner. Badawia, roll with Badawia. Well, it had to be the former Sydney FC player.
The The Yellow and Navy unable to score a second. Sydney progressing through 2-1 on aggregate. As for who they play in next week's grand final, that will be decided in Melbourne tomorrow. Needing to claw back 3 goals against City, the Jets women head into the second leg of their semi-final with nothing to lose. Coaching dramas, ownership dilemmas, a record run and a new benchmark for home crowds. It's been a season of twists and turns for the Jets, and they're hoping the biggest one is yet to come.
When our backs are against the wall, we do well, so I think that will help us, that we're not a team that's had it easy all year.
Playing Melbourne tomorrow, Newcastle will not only have to produce its first ever win against City, it'll need to win by 3 goals after a disastrous home leg.
It's been difficult for Newcastle. They're now 3 goals down. And an away game next week.
Kind of hurt a bit more being at home in front of that many fans, so it was very disappointing.
Down, but not out. The side knows how to find the back of the net, averaging 4.5 goals in the month leading up to last week's loss.
It's going to be Adelaide's biggest defeat in this competition.
Yeah, this week's all about us and how we can be clinical in front of goal, how we can get the ball into the box as quickly as we can, and we obviously have to score goals, so if we keep it up our end, then we're probably not going to score. So, yeah, I think focusing on our attack.
Written off by most, Newcastle has nothing to lose.
I don't really think we have too much pressure on us. I think it's probably more on them.
The game will kick off at Melbourne's rectangular stadium tomorrow at 1 p.m.
The girls will have that up their sleeve, that they're used to fighting and battling.
Lambton has maintained its perfect start to the NPL season, downing third-placed Valentine in round 9 today. Goals to Bailey Newton and Cale Bradbury gave the home side an early 2-0 lead. The visitors hit back through Tyrrell Paulson, but the Jaffers quickly regained what proved to be a crucial buffer thanks to James Oates. Lambton holding on to win 3-2.
Vallo's a good side. They're coming, I think, second or third at the moment. So, Husey sets them up well. They're a good footballing side. So, it's good to come away with a win.
The Knights under 19 girls have gone down in today's Tasha Gale Cup Grand Final. Newcastle's Lily McNamara crossed twice before a crucial try to Malachi Power brought the Knights within striking distance of Illawarra at the break.
To repeat, the Power's gone by himself from the dummy half and got there. What a decision to go for the try instead of the kick.
The Steelers scored the only try of the second half to seal a 24-12 win. A Hunter trio will be chasing Super Rugby glory tomorrow with Liani Nathan, Maya Stewart and Lane Morgan all lining up for the Waratahs women in their grand final showdown against the Fijian Drua. Undefeated this season, New South Wales is vying for its 5th premiership but has struggled against the defending premiers, knocked out by Fiji in the last 2 final series.
I guess we take confidence coming into this final, but Fiji are just a surprise package, you never know what you're going to get with them. So interesting when we do preview and stuff, but we'll be on our toes and we'll be ready.
The final kicks off in Brisbane at 2 p.m. Go New South Wales.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Jack. Well, how's tomorrow shaping up? We'll check your local Hunter weather details next.
It's a Zozzy Adams. A whole museum. Chock-a-block with classic cars. Not anymore. The museum's closing. A current affair next.
The GWM end of financial year with more sale is on, with great savings on GWM utes, Havel SUVs, Tank 4x4s and Aura EVs. Get up to $4,000 off the drive-away price on specific models. Stocks are limited, T's and C's apply.
Discover the vivid contrasts of the Kimberley in unrivaled ultra-luxury onboard scenic Eclipse. Book your all-inclusive voyage and save from $4,000 per person.
Hey mate, it's time to go home. I can't!
Don't get stuck in pain. Voltaren gel penetrates deep into the skin to reduce inflammation and relieve pain to get you moving sooner.
I'm back!
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Try light and easy for yourself and enjoy your choice of delicious, healthy meals delivered to your door.
Because it's subsidised by the home care package, that makes it very economical for us.
Call 13 15 12 today.
The Nick Scarley April clearance ends Sunday with up to 40% off selected designer furniture. Save up to 40% of the April clearance. Ends Sunday at Nick Scarley.
Introducing Gillette Labs with Exfoliating Bar. With one-stroke exfoliation, it clears a path on your skin before the blades for an effortless shave. Level up with Gillette Labs.
I'm off, fellas. It's not going to drive, are you? Yeah, no, I'll get a ride, hon. I've got Ange coming. Jump in with us. Cool, that works.
Let's all say yeah, nah to drink driving.
Introducing Australia's best at MG, like the MG3, Australia's best-selling light hatch, with 15-inch alloy wheels, Apple CarPlay, and 7-year warranty. From just $18,990 drive away. Get yours today.
On now at Harvey Norman, get a 10-year manufacturer's warranty plus 10% savings on selected AEG appliances. Premium German design. Now's the time to buy. Like the Steam-Baked Pyrolux oven. Save 10% plus 10-year warranty. 10% savings on the AEG freestanding dishwasher. Plus 10-year warranty. Get this amazing AEG kitchen package with oven, cooktop, range hood and dishwasher included plus 10-year warranty and 10% off. Experience the premium AEG range with this amazing offer on now at Harvey Norman.
Go!
Turned on some warm sunshine and calm conditions as junior sport kicked off for many families. But first, a hazy start at beautiful Byron Bay, captured a couple of days ago by Mark Wilson. The water temperature is still a balmy 25 degrees on the north coast, so wetsuits are still in storage. On the satellite, light showers today about the Queensland and New South Wales coast in moist winds. A broad region of high pressure kept elsewhere clear and dry. Tomorrow, high pressure will send onshore showers to coastal Queensland and northeast New South Wales, as well as southern WA. Light showers will develop over northwest WA in unstable air. Partly cloudy this morning with some fog patches. Otherwise, it was a mostly sunny day with light winds, 21 degrees the top at Nobbies, 11 to 22 at Williamtown, 23 for Singleton and 19 the top at Murrurundi. There's the chance of morning fog tomorrow and a mostly sunny afternoon. Light winds forecast again. Temperature-wise, 13 to 25 for Newcastle, 10 to 25 at Maitland, dipping to just 8 degrees for Merriwar and Scone with a top of 24, 25 the top for Bulahdelah. Coastal waters information, seas at 1.5 metres with a 2 metre swell, north-northeasterly winds up to 20 knots. The sun to rise at 6:23 and set at 5:18. The morning high tide at 11:18 a.m. And our outlook for Newcastle, Monday, a mostly sunny day with light winds. Tuesday, cloudy with a high chance of showers and a thunderstorm up to 25 millimetres expected for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday next week. For Scone, 26 degrees on Monday, 20 on Tuesday, just 19 for Wednesday and Thursday with some light showers possible. And finally for Gosford, 13 to 27 degrees the range on Monday, up to 20 millimetres on Tuesday, another 15 on Wednesday. And that is NBN News for this Saturday. A current affair is coming up next. Thanks for your company from all the NBN News team here behind the scenes. Good night.
Hello, I'm Ali Langdon. Welcome to A Current Affair. It's the confession of a teenage criminal. One time I did a home invasion. I scared the mum real bad. He's breaking ranks tonight, detailing life in a youth gang, terrorising families as they break into homes and steal cars. He wants other kids to listen, put down their knives and turn their lives around like he did.
drives big Mercedes.
And how old were you when you joined this gang?
I was pretty young. Yeah, like, I would say like 14.
He wants to be known as Alex.
First time I did the robbery, like I wasn't scared at first until we drilled the guy. And I looked at him and I felt like what he felt, like he was pretty scared.
And what do you mean by drill?
As in robbing.
We've agreed to protect his identity over fears he could be targeted for speaking out.
It all started in school, you know? Like, you know, your mates and all that, and then you got these older boys, you see them, they're already in the gang, then you can hear them ripping the postcode, and then like, you know, you get influenced by them too, and it's like, oh, you know, you want to join too.
Until he was 17, Alex says he was part of a youth gang terrorising Melbourne.
When we do home invasions, we try to do it as quick as possible.
Their main target, luxury cars.
Mainly expensive ones, like Mercedes, you know.
He says they would follow the orders of criminals higher up the pecking order, known as elders.
If they want us to get them a car, we get them a car. We just sell it to them. Maybe a couple of hundred.
Alex admits the faces of his victims still haunt him.
That one time I did a home invasion, yeah, I scared her mom real bad. And I feel like she's traumatized till now. That fear in her eyes is like, it reminds me of my mom, you know. Like, it could have been her.
Were you ever scared of being caught by the police?
Nah, never. I was never scared.
He was arrested and released multiple times. Alex eventually ended up here, an inmate at Parkville Youth Justice Centre. Last time you were here, you were on the other side of this fence. What's it like to be back?
I can imagine being inside it. Like, you don't want to be in there. I was in my cell. I just daydream. And one time I look out the window, I just see the city, and you know, you just wonder to yourself, like, you wish you were out, you know, like, and then you tell yourself, oh, you're gonna stop doing that. But then when you get out, you know, you do the same thing.
Do you think youth gangs are running wild because the bail laws are too soft?
Yeah, I think so. I reckon if it's more tough on youth, I reckon some people, not all, I reckon some will stop, you know, or like click to their head.
But a year on, something's clicked. Alex has kept out of trouble and has turned his life around. For that, he's got an unlikely friendship to thank.
I was just starting out in the role, and I had a detective come up to me say that we've got this young lad in custody and he might be one for you to have a chat with, and tried to get anything out of him, and it was just a bit of a meh. I said, okay, I'll let you sleep.
Senior Constable Curtly Bryan is a youth specialist officer with Victoria Police. Somehow he won over Alex's trust, the teenager even requesting the cop be added to his prison call list.
We do get a lot of times in this job where we think, what are we doing this job for? Like, what's the point? But when I got that phone call from his youth justice worker, I was, okay, yeah, I'm getting somewhere with this one.
A lot of things he said, you know, actually got me wondering, you know. And his word pushed me, you know. Like, it hit me hard.
In Victoria alone, 620 youths from 43 gangs are currently on a police watch list. Although that number is slowly dropping, with more young people cutting criminal ties following the launch of a specialist operation in 2020.
Yeah, it's the first time I bought my own shoes. Like, you know, I feel real proud, feel happy. And like, I wish I could give back the shoes I stole off people.
Now 19, Alex has a stable job and dreams for the future.
I always dreamed, like, as a young kid, you know, I'll become one of, like, Kurt, become a cop.
It's a very proud dad moment. Like, seeing someone who went from such a dark place in the world to somewhere who's coming out to be somewhere like you and me, being a productive member of the community. It's great. It's worth it.
Yeah, I'm proud that I'm not inside there. Much better being out here.
You know, we hear so much about youth crime, don't we? And it often makes us feel hopeless. So it's kind of nice to hear of someone turning their life around, as Alex has, with the help of Kurt. Chances are they're in our cookware, toiletries, even our clothes. They're called forever chemicals, and they're bad. We're now learning what a corporate giant knew about the poison for decades, but stayed silent.
Things like frying pans, contact lenses, dental floss, shaving cream, your kids' school uniform, your yoga pants, your sports bra.
They knew for decades that these chemicals were highly toxic and in everyone's blood.
Forever chemicals sound pretty scary, and well, they are. Their name is long, per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. Their reach, wide. PFAS is estimated to be in the bloodstream of 98% of the world's population. They're all around your home, on your clothes, in the water. Toxic, causing an increased risk of cancer and developmental problems in children.
And so the reason that they're known as forever chemicals is because they never break down in the environment unless they're incinerated at incredibly high temperatures. And in the human body, they stay in the human body for years.
Two Australian women, Sydney Morning Herald journalist Carrie Fellner and Stan documentary director Katrina McGowan,
we could have a serious problem,
have exposed the shocking extent to which man-made forever chemicals have crept into our lives.
And that was removed from the official meeting minutes, wasn't it, sir?
I don't see that final statement in the second copy of the meeting minutes.
Investigating the crusade for justice as communities around the world discover their blood, homes and water are contaminated. The team document the David and Goliath legal battle with American industrial giant 3M, which invented the chemicals back in the 1930s and up until the year 2000 pumped it out in products such as Scotchgard fabric protector, turning up the heat on 3M's role in the scandal, uncovering decades of damning evidence buried in the company's corporate files.
Which ultimately tell the story of what 3M knew, and that they knew for decades that these chemicals were highly toxic and in everyone's blood.
They were enormous money spinner for companies like 3M because they have an incredible ability to repel oil, repel water, repel grease. So they can be used in about 900 different household products.
In the 1960s, 3M also worked with the United States Navy, developing firefighting foam using the same chemicals. The Australian Navy's Jervis Bay Range facility overlooks Wreck Bay on the New South Wales south coast. The documentary team visited the culturally rich Aboriginal community. These chemicals were unwittingly poured into their waterways for decades, used for firefighting training. There were no warnings.
If we wanted to put out an oil fire, we'd have to use the foam and the water.
While the chemical has been phased out, the water is still contaminated.
There was foam in the creek and we would play with it. We didn't know what it was.
This was just such a horrible thing that had happened to them, and not only were they dealing with the fact that their land was contaminated, but it was having a huge impact on their cultural practices, and these cultural practices had dated back for thousands of years, and they were no longer able to fish or collect their bush medicine, and it was just such a heartbreaking story.
Heartbreak too for the residents of Oakey in Queensland, Katherine in the Northern Territory and Williamtown in New South Wales, where hundreds found their properties were contaminated by the firefighting foam. The locals call it the Red Zone. 650 properties within a 5-kilometre radius south of the RAAF base, just outside of Newcastle. We've followed the story of a cancer cluster in Williamtown since 2015. Jenny Robinson was diagnosed with 2 different types of breast cancer.
The neighbours on both sides of me have passed away with cancer. Just in this immediate area, quickly maybe 10 of 15 houses have cancer.
Dark Waters is Hollywood's take on the legal battle with the chemical giants.
That chemical, what if you drank it? Drank it? It's like saying, what if I swallowed a tire?
Its leading man, Oscar-nominated Mark Ruffalo, is using his star power to keep up the fight.
It's in the food. It's everywhere. There's nothing you can do without coming into contact with it. Nobody would be that.
Lawyer Gary Douglas spearheaded the litigation against 3M and another company, DuPont, which used forever chemicals in well-known products, including non-stick cookware coated with Teflon.
It's always my desire to get in court and tell a story in a public forum, and so that the world will hear it.
The case was ready for trial when, the night before, the chemical giants settled.
That's why I think this documentary is so important and so well done, and does tell this story that needs to be told.
3M agreed to pay $19 billion, DuPont just over $2 billion.
To pay for the costs of remediating, in other words, cleaning out the contamination from their drinking water so that Americans will drink PFAS-free water eventually.
Do you feel in these cases that the punishment ever really fits the crime?
You can give someone all the money in the world, but, that can't buy back your health. That can't cure your child of cancer. So the money really, it's just not enough for these communities, for the mental anguish that they're dealing with and potentially the physical consequences of that.
Our government has now banned 3 of the most notorious forever chemicals, and you can watch the documentary from tomorrow on Stan. It's as Aussie as Vegemite, Lamingtons and the word crikey, the good old Holden. First, they stopped making cars on our shores. Now another Holden institution is shutting up shop for good. But fans have a chance to get a little slice of history.
From the original Aussie Ute to the GTS, Monaro, Statesman and Sandman. Whether it was a family car, a racetrack favourite or a prototype, if it came with a Holden badge, heart and a bit of character, you'd find it at the National Holden Motor Museum.
It's an honour to be in charge of a lot of cars like that. It's a proud thing to be in the Holden Museum.
Mark and Tony Galea share a last name and a love of Holdens. It's that love that led the mates to buy Australia's oldest Holden museum back in 2017.
Check out the big block of this one, mate.
Both moved from Melbourne to Echuca on Victoria's border with New South Wales to take care of a 50-strong collection of cars and hundreds of pieces of Holden memorabilia.
Very proud of the place. Had a lot of enjoyment from people that have come through here. We've got some pretty amazing cars, and most of the cars that we have got stories of their own.
So tell us, this is a pretty special car?
Yeah, this 1975 HJ Kingswood. Everyone that had a Holden, most people did have a Kingswood. It's very Australian.
This particular Aussie icon made more iconic by its actor-owner.
This owned by Shane Jacobson. So this was in the movie Charlie and Boots with Paul Hogan and Shane Jacobson.
Shane's pride and joy carried him with Hogs across the country in the 2009 road trip film. In fact...
Oi! Hang on. It's a Holden museum.
They even paid a visit to the museum itself.
Kids, who can tell me the first Holden model made with a left-hand drive?
The FB.
Thank you, sir, but I was asking the kids.
We love having this car here. It's been here for a long time, but Shane Jacobson, he's always supported us.
It's not just about the cars, it's about travels. There's a lot of passion out there, and from young kids right up to the oldies, and everybody has a story to tell you. Even they might come in and say, I'm a Ford person, but they've got a story to tell you.
In 1948, the first Holden was dubbed the car made in Australia for Australia. And for almost 70 years, close to 7.7 million Holdens were made here.
You get more for your money in Holden, Australia's own car. The time is now, and the car is Holden. New 1966 Turbo Smooth Holden.
Until the last Commodore rolled off the line in 2017. For Mark and Tony, the time has also come to retire. They couldn't find a buyer for the museum, so have had to close the doors, with dozens of cars, part of private collections, hitting the road. Steve DeManuel has owned his Holden for more than 35 years.
It's a HRX2. They're one of the first performance Holdens that's been mass produced. It was pretty much my first car, and I painlessly restored it to showroom condition and done such a good job on it, I just couldn't drive it. Too fussy.
For years, Steve's car has been admired inside the Holden Museum. But with the doors closed, he and son Henry are carefully moving her on. Now all of Steve's hard work will be on show at the Museum of Vehicle Evolution, along with Shane Jacobson's Kingswood, down the road in Shepparton.
And that's the main reason, to have it at museums so other people can enjoy it instead of being locked up in a garage at home.
Some of the other owners have decided to sell their wheels, the cars joining dozens of Holdens from around the country.
You're saying a country is firing energy weapons through walls of buildings.
There's a new generation of weapon being developed. Hundreds struck down. It felt like my head was in a vice.
Bam, inside my right ear.
Extreme vertigo, you lose control.
The symptoms aren't in dispute. Who and what caused them is.
60 minutes. Head was in a vice.
Bam, inside my right ear.
Extreme vertigo, you lose control.
The symptoms aren't in dispute. Who and what caused them is.
60 Minutes has the worldwide investigation, a baffling mystery reaching all the way to Australia.
Sounds like it's straight from a spy thriller.
Plus, Jess Fox takes you inside her Olympic family.
A dream come true to do that together.
On 60 Minutes.
Need a new sofa? Right now, get up to 25% off selected leather and fabric sofas. Plus, for a limited time, get 50 months interest-free store-wide. Conditions apply. Save on now. Only at Freedom, home of sofas.
Life is good. Hey, is what it's all about.
The healthier, tastier snack from Arnott's. New Arnott's Snack Ride. It's all
the store, like half price on diet and sports products from Fat Blaster, BSC, Masashi, Quest and Nature's Way. That's today's fresh food people.
Frankie said she's a fan of impersonation, but not of people impersonating Australia Post. That's why we've made all delivery updates available on the AusPost app, so she'll know they're from us, and us alone. You ask, we deliver at Australia Post.
Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. And Perfect Italiano is perfect for that. Not so good for that. But for mouth-watering pizza every time, Perfect Italiano is perfect for that.
New Fairy 30-Minute Miracle works in just 30 minutes. It dares to show what really happens inside your dishwasher. Fairy rehydrates and breaks down tough, baked-on food in 30 minutes. Miracle. No pre-wash, no rewash. Try it.
Nope, it's not down here either. Get another look from the Spextravaganza store-wide sale. Get any 2 pairs store-wide for only $1.99. Save up to $200. Hurry, offer ends May 1.
The Plush Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off a huge selection of leather and fabric sofas, recliners and armchairs. Save up to 50% off at the Plush Autumn Sale. Ends Sunday.
Sofas, think Plush. Where to from here? Will your life ever be the same? Are you getting what's fair, not just what's offered? Talk to Slater and Gordon, and we'll take it from here.
The Plush Autumn Sale ends Sunday with up to 50% off a huge selection of leather and fabric sofas, recliners and armchairs. Save up to 50% off at the Plush Autumn Sale. Ends Sunday.
Sofas, think Plush.
Do you remember your favourite toy as a child? Maybe it was an action figure, a teddy or some playing cards. Mine was itty bitty bins. Well, if you kept them and looked after them, they could be worth a pretty penny.
Hot Wheels! Collect them by themselves or get them in wild new action.
Remember these?
The fastest metal cars you've ever seen.
Or maybe you played with these.
My Little Pony.
Did you bicker with a sibling over whose turn it was with this?
Heroes in a half shell.
Does this jingle place you right back in the living room you grew up in? Well, these toys and more have made a comeback, only now they're collectibles. Alistair Lowe is head of collectibles at eBay Australia.
Aussies are a nation of collectors. They're collecting things like retro toys, action figures, vinyls, and trading cards.
Alistair says there's been a huge amount of growth in the industry over the past few years.
The things that are sold most are things like Lego, we've got action figures, trading cards, sneakers, vintage film, vinyl, vintage film cameras.
And these days, some old toys are worth a small fortune.
Just last year in December, we saw a Beanie Baby sell for over 2,800. So yeah, it's crazy prices. Some of these trading cards are growing really significantly. The most expensive trading card to sell on eBay Australia was over $100,000 for a signed Michael Jordan card.
Isabella Gallimberti is an avid collector.
So I collect Care Bears, My Little Pony, Strawberry Shortcake, and anything that really interests me.
She says most of her collection is vintage. The 23-year-old owns more than 100 Care Bears.
The most valuable bear would probably be the one that is mint in box. So my mint in box cheer bear, she could probably get around $300 to $400.
My wife calls it an obsession. I certainly have more toys than my 3.5-year-old, that's for sure.
Gaurav Gupta collects Transformers.
Well, my collection's made up of roughly between 800 to 1,000 Transformers. I sort of lost count after the first 500 or so.
Over the past few years, the worth of his collection has grown.
I think the greatest growth has been between one of two different Transformers.
His toys in Sydney's West, you'd be forgiven for thinking you'd step back in time. Manager Naomi Ramirez.
We have a lot of retro toys that are coming into the store as of late, and it's an absolute huge craze for all of the parents.
Off the shelves right now.
A lot of things like your Voltron, Power Rangers, Masters of the Universe. Then you've got things like Care Bears, Polly Pockets, Tamagotchis and Furby. And then some of our favourite games and gadgets.
Bratz dolls, My Little Pony and Troll dolls. And check out these classics, the Rubik's Cube and the Magic 8 Ball.
Will this ball be worth $1 million in a year? My sources say no.
Philip Taylor is a Star Wars enthusiast. His collection is 30 years in the making.
I started off collecting everything with the Star Wars name tag on it, both the vintage and the modern. I did a count on some loose figures. There's probably about 500 loose figures.
His most expensive figurine is also his smallest.
Tell me about this Jawa figurine. I understand it's quite valuable.
It is, yeah. So the Jawas were scavengers, and they appeared in the first movie, and they were part of the first 12 figures. Mm-hmm. The Jawa is one of them.
What would you say this little guy's worth?
This little guy is probably worth circa 4,000.
Phil's got all sorts of bits and bobs, which makes for an interesting home and a patient wife.
Maybe it'd be nice in the left room, next to the kids' photos.
You gotta have a hobby, right? His poor wife. Well, coming up, the surprise of a lifetime.
Thought it was a scam at first.
Erica heard she could save with a low-rate Suncorp Bank home loan. So she did. Like Erica, you could save when you take out or refinance with a low-rate Suncorp Bank home loan. Banking you can feel good about.
Win the ultimate games experience in Paris 2024 at Harvey Norman. 3 major prizes to be won with a total prize pool of over $100,000. You could win a trip for 2 to the Paris 2024 Olympic or Paralympic Games, or a Harvey Norman gift card valued at $10,000. Simply purchase any product over $200 and enter the draw for your chance to win the ultimate games experience in Paris 2024. Now at Harvey Norman.
HCF gives members CanStar winning health cover and the lowest average rate rise of the major funds. Now we're also giving members the chance to take over our ads. Isn't that right, Stuart? Hold on. Do you want some help? We'll get hair and makeup.
Turkey. You're back in town and haven't changed a bit, man. Time you get what you deserve.
My teams getting ready to battle.
So you wanna play me? Are you big enough?
This is intense as footy gets. We are ready for Origin footy. Cheers to all power.
I've changed so much since I decided.
For the first time in women's Origin history, a blockbuster 3-match series.
Oh, baby, don't tell me I didn't warn you.
It's a huge game for those women out on the big stage.
Ampol Women's State of Origin. Exclusive, live and free. Only on 9 and 9 now.
I don't want us to miss out on that house. We buy it first and sell this one later. Let's just tailor a plan.
Wherever you are on your home buying journey, CommBank's lending specialists offer expert guidance every step of the way.
Copper is critical to the energy transition, including the manufacture of electric cars, wind turbines and solar panels. The need for responsibly produced Australian copper is clear. It's happening now at BHP.
Feeling trapped with a chesty cough? Get DuroTough with DuroTough's Chesty Cough Liquid Fort. Its double action formula breaks down mucus and clears chest congestion. DuroTough, available for a great price every day at Chemist Warehouse.
Now it's time for Big Dog to say goodnight. Good night, Big Dog. Good night, girls and boys. Sweet dreams.
Next week, a special surprise.
The Bakers. Battlers one day, multi-millionaires the next.
Oh my God, I'm crying, but I'm so happy.
Cracking the lottery jackpot.
I thought it was a scam.
Mum's been working 3 jobs. Dad's been fighting cancer. A big win for the little guys.
We'll have that wonderful story on Monday, and that's our program. I'm Ali Langdon. Thanks for your company. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.